Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Geeta Anand and Minakshi Babbar, on behalf of DLDAV Model School Shalimar Bagh, feel privileged to welcome you all in this session of Infinitum 2020. Success isn't about how much money you make, it's about the difference you make in people's lives. A true epitome of this statement. Today we have with us Miss Jyoti Berry, founder Biscope Consulting, an alumni of our school, to enlighten us on an interesting topic, the changing career landscape. We extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am. Before we start, I would like to call Mannat of class 12 to welcome our esteemed guests. Over to you, Mannat.
Thank you, Mom. Good afternoon to one and all. I am feeling very glad to invite Ms. Jyoti Bedi to give us important information about human resource management. The great news is that Jyoti Bedi ma'am is the alumni of our school from batch 1996. Jyoti ma'am holds postgraduate degree in business management, and today she will be discussing about the changing career landscape. Jyoti ma'am has special skills like leadership hiring, end-to-end stakeholder and candidate management, negotiation skills, strategic sourcing, employee engagement, and works for industries like recruitment, software solution, and office automation. Jyoti Beri ma'am is the founder of Bespoke Consulting, which enables the sources of right resources based on the nature of roles and size of business to provide solutions to the organizational resource challenges, including global talent. Bespoke Consulting works with clients in education industry, advertising, manufacturing mandates across different levels. Here presenting a virtual bouquet with real warmth of pleasure and happiness. It would be an honor for all of us to meet you in real, but in this time of pandemic, it's better to be virtual and learn a lot from you. Now, I would like to invite Jyoti ma'am to impart us with the knowledge through her words of wisdom and glorifies the occasion. Jyoti ma'am, please take over the stage.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for inviting me for this particular career counseling session. Ma'am has introduced and Mannat also introduced, I come with 15 years of experience into various organizations, which is into the, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which has been into the consulting and also into an other HR aspects apart from the talent acquisition, which I have actively doing since last 15 years. So I run my own organization now. That's Bespoke Consulting. And can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll talk about the career changing career landscapes. Now, today we will, talk about this particular topic. We are seeing a lot of shift in the job market, right? Now, why jobs are changing, why certain roles which were not there 10 years back, we can see that coming up. We can actually foresee what would be the roles which would be coming in next 2 years, and they will be really flourishing. Now, all these things are happening, and that's where why it is happening, because organizations are going global. Organizations are changing their processes, strategies, and all. But majorly, if we will talk of, whether it is a global or it is an Indian, aspect or the perspective of any organization, there are certain, pillars where we talk of, which are changing internally and externally, both within the organization and outside the organization as well. So if you will see my, if you will see my a presentation, I hope you guys can see the presentation. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I'll quickly take you through certain slides. First, we will talk of four pillars of any organization. Any one of you, what do you think? What are organizations are aiming at? According to you, one, two, three, whatever points come to your mind. I really want you to interact on this because this is not a very subjective thing which we are doing of, this topic is not very specific to any subject, but I'm generally asking you, what do you think organizations or the corporates they are aiming at, how
Profit.
they're running, why, what are the parameters on which these organizations are running. So if someone can, come up with one or two or three parameters, tell me that. Any one of you. Let's make this little interactive. I'm not going to ask you so many questions, and this is not your, we are not going to assess on that. But generally, what is your view? Why? What these organizations? So let's talk of the organization e-commerce industry, which is there in the market now. You have seen e-commerce. You guys are obviously, I'm sure you guys are accessing and ordering a lot of stuff from Flipkart, Snapdeal, Myntra, and all. What do you think? What all these organizations are aiming at?
Yes, Manat?
To
You can.
target a large customer.
Very good. Very good. Anyone else?
Serving the society.
Okay. Sure.
Profit maximization.
Correct. Correct. Sure. So let's quickly see. I'll just sum it up into the four pillars which I'm talking about right now. So first one, like Mannat said, it's customer. Then technology, product, and people. Let me tell you, in today's world, two things which has changed the job market is technology and customer. It's very important. If you will see, there is a customer experience which is the most important part of any organization now. They are aiming at the customer satisfaction and the experience. You go and you go and you search your product, you order on these portals, you order on these platforms, and if you do not have a good experience, be it a product or be it a service, you will never go back to that particular platform to buy the product, right? You might have you might have some bad experience with any of these platforms. You will say, okay, fine, on these e-commerce platforms you will feel that, okay, no, I'm not going to buy the product from this platform now because they have not given the services. I have to call 10 times to the customer care. I'm calling back, the product is not good, no one is picking it up. So there are a lot of issues now. That's where, because it's a customer centric world, it is a customer centric and customer experience which matters to any organization. Basis that the organizations are changing their processes, changing the technologies they are working on, changing the kind of people they need in these organizations. They are talking about the processes and the product. Basis what the customer is liking, they are changing the products also. They do a lot of customization for their customers to make that product most wanted in the market, because there's a huge competition sitting outside. So because of all these factors, this is a customer centric world now, right? Because of all these factors, now organizations also change themselves, right? If you see next slide, it is completely, I'll just mention that technology and customer experience has changed the complete job market in last 5 years. It has changed completely now. Let's see. I'll be covering few points in this particular presentation basis on the job market which has taken a shift. One is the new career opportunities. Second is organizational changes which are happening. Third is the skills required to master and sustain in the market, and what we should do to, sustain ourselves or present ourselves in this job market, right? Let's not let's talk about the another thing. Now I'll talk of new career opportunities. See, there are opportunities which were not there. There was a time when we used to study, and we were talking about, okay, let's become engineer, let's become doctor, let's become do a chartered accountancy, teaching and all. So there were very limited career which we were talking about at that time. There were quite shifts happened, IT boom happened, everything happened. But if you will see 10 years back, we were not talking about certain roles, which was market research data miner, social media managers, Chief Listening Officer. Anyone who can tell me what this Chief Listening Officer would be doing? Organizations have people who are working as a Chief Listening Officer. Anyone, any idea, you can just guess or assume what this person would be doing as a Chief Listening Officer in any organization. Any one of you. What do you
जो
think?
बाकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की प्रॉब्लम से अगर डील करे कस्टमर
Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Manat, you have raised your hand, beta.
Listening to the problems of customers and solving them out.
Okay, so I'll tell you, see, it is listening to the customer and to the employees both, and coming up with, gathering the complete information from both the ends, from internal and external stakeholders, to basically enhance the relationship with the customers also and with the internal employees also. So if you will see chief listening officer, there was no such role in past, where the organizations were hiring people with these kind of designations. They were not even having a roles where people were talking about ki, let's speak to the customers and take our information. There was a simple call center jobs wherein they used to take the complaints and they used to resolve it. But on a larger scale, if you will look at, if you have to form the strategies, you need people to do that, and you need certain expertise to do that, right? Now, coming to next, that's Chief Meme Officer. Anyone who can tell me what this role is all about? I'm sure you guys are on WhatsApp, you are using all the memes. So, what according to you, what this role is all about? I mean, this is a very interesting role which has recently, come into the market, and organizations are hiring big time for this role now.
Yes, Aditya, beta.
मैम लाइक सिंपल एडवर्टाइजमेंट से लोगों को वो बात इतनी क्लियर नहीं होती जितनी इंटरेस्टिंग मीम से हमें एडवर्टाइजिंग में हेल्प करती है.
Very good, very good. See, Aditya, I'll tell you, this is the role wherein one particular person who will be making and curating the memes to basically center the brand or the product in the market. So you create the memes based on the brand. So you have to daily create 1, 2, 3 new, and you have to really be very creative for this particular role. So, the whole point is, are you getting me what exactly we are talking about over here? Have we ever heard of these roles in past? We have never heard of it. These are the new roles which are there. The organizations are hiring them, and organizations are making a lot of changes because of this. They felt the need of such people. They felt the need to basically project themselves in the market, and that's where they have created these roles. Then cloud computing services, UI, UX designers. Now we are talking of next 2 years. What exactly is going to happen? So Internet of Things specialists, cybersecurity managers, fintech entrepreneurs, AI specialists, product specialists, data analysts, GIS experts, customer experience managers, chief customer officer. So customer experience manager, see, there is one particular role they have created which will only talk of customer experience, because that's the right now the focus is customer. Right now the industries are customer centric industries, right? Customer centric organizations. So the focus is that, and that's why one particular role has been created for this, and the organizations are really hiring for people, looking for people with that kind of experience, and they want to hire people who can understand the customer dynamics, right? Then we are talking about, now we'll talk of organization changes, what changes organizations are doing to get into the market right way, into the market, job market, get the right people hired for themselves. And those factors are, there are a lot of factors wherein they are hiring where they are, doing all these changes. So they are development of a flatter organization. So there was a time when, where they were like huge hierarchies, starting from executive, senior executive, assistant manager, managers. Then you have AVPs, VPs, general managers. Now these organizations are going flat, right? They don't want people to handle just team. They want individual contributors. When we say individual contributor, person who is willing to do a lot of work, multifunctional work, rather than just focusing on one of the thing. So they are looking at people who are multi-skilled, who are multifunctional, they can work on. The organizations are looking at flatter organizations. There are roles where you will see a lot of where you will see big teams, huge teams sitting there, that might be sales and all. But now they are going little flatter organizations globally, because that's something which is quite an acceptable one. And when you give a responsibility as an individual contributor, you really outperform also at times. Now, introduction of service robots. I'm sure you must be aware of the kind of robots now coming in the market. There are a lot of people who are buying at home also. A lot of robots which are doing your lot of your work, be it dull work, be it any kind of servicing which need to be done. So that's where the service robots are introduced. Use of non-standard work arrangements. Now there was a time when there was a fixed standard arrangement starting from 9 to 5. This will be the office 5:36. This will be the office timings. We will be sitting like this. We'll be having a cabin. This person will have a cabin and all that. But now it is again, it has changed. So now after, this particular pandemic, if you have seen, people are working from home. I'm sure your parents and all, they are working from home and all. And that's becoming little acceptable for any organization. And that's where the shift is also coming, and people are doing a lot of changes in their work arrangements. Outsourcing. So basically, a lot of work nowadays organizations are not doing internally, but they outsource. The advertising part, at times they do it all from agencies. They do lot of you will see gig market coming up, that is also a contractual, you hire people for certain period, and then so those things are coming in market now. Organization are doing those changes. Then global strategy and processes. Obviously, the organizations who have not been into the global processes and strategies, they are not. They are still working in a conservative manner. They are moving towards the global processes. Because these organization changes are happening now, what kind of skill sets are required by these organizations to hire the right people? So, see, first one is flexibility and adaptability. Now, it's very important that the people, organizations are hiring people who should be flexible enough, who should be ready to change, because there are a lot of organizations, they keep on changing their culture. There's always a shift in culture. When management changes, a lot of things gets changed within the organization. A lot of policies, processes change. You have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable to that kind of environment. There are people who work with very big organizations. So, say for example, someone working with Wipro, or maybe a bigger organization, suddenly that person says, okay, fine, I want to move to a startup because this is something which is upcoming. So they move to a startup environment, but they have to be very flexible and adaptable, because startups doesn't work like an organization which are already having a process systems, right? They already have system, they already have processes, they were working in certain process. But now startup, if you will talk about, there are people who are working day and night, each and everything they are doing on their own. So one has to be flexible to move to such systems. One has to be flexible to, and adaptable to that kind of environment. Keep upgrading your skills and knowledge. So you cannot just say, I know this and I'll keep on working for in this particular field for next 10 years or 20 years, right? That's not the case, because every day there is something new coming up. And as far the education is concerned, as far the new skill sets are concerned, now you will see IT people, technology, they might have done one particular they might excel into one particular skill set. But now if you see, there are a lot of new skill sets are coming. So one has to be very keep upgrading their skills and knowledge. Someone who has to be cross functional skills. So it is like someone who knows sales, should also be do marketing, can also do the HR work because they are also hiring. So they are also, they should come up with the solutions of how the team can be handled, how the new processes can change the dynamics of that particular team, dynamics of their team. So they, so the functional skills, if you, they should able to, as a business analyst, they should be able to work. So one person who is coming from sales not necessarily should know only sales, but should know other stuff also, because that's the need of the hour. That's the need of the hour right now. So diversification, build up your digital skills. I'm sure everyone must be on the social media nowadays, right? I hope everyone is with me and you can see my presentation. I can
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
sure. So I'm sure you must, all of you must be on social media, be it Instagram, Facebook. So I'm sure everyone is on those, platforms. But over here, we are talking of digital skills. Yes, you know social media, but you should know digital skills, wherein we are talking of a lot of animations, we are talking of creatives and all. So when you are spending so much time on social media, you should also develop certain skill sets, which, online, nowadays it's very easy to learn a lot of stuff on online also. When we are talking of graphics, we are talking of creatives and all, that comes under, digital, social medias also at times, that is also becomes a part of or digital media. So start, be creative, start learning certain digital skills. Maybe you can do online also. Collaborative and social skills. So, someone who is working in an organization, see, you're staying in a family, you adjust with everyone, you manage with everyone. You guys have a difference of opinion with your parents, with your family and everyone, but you stay together, right? You adjust, you listen to them, they listen to you. Similar way, within an organization, you deal with your team is having, you have a team, or maybe, you're working in a team where you have 10 to 20 people. So you have to have those social skills to manage, to manage everyone. You have to have those social skills wherein, you know what exactly you have to talk to them, and what exactly should be your tone, and whether you are able to make them understand what you are really looking at, what are you really talking about, right? So those social skills of managing, those social skills of collaboration should be there. With, that is what the organizations are looking at people. Not that, I'm a boss, so that attitude doesn't work nowadays, that, I'm the boss. So you cannot be in that particular attitude. You have to come out of that mode, and you have to be with people, right? Then we are talking of people and leadership skills. Like I said, you cannot say I'm the boss, but leadership skills is completely different nowadays. You have to take people with you. You have to be set an examples. You have to become a role model that people look up to you. So the definition of leadership has completely, changed now. Now we are talking of networking, which is the most important nowadays. Networking, we are talking of effective networking, right? We are not talking of any, like I said, social media, you do networking, you meet up your friends. Over here, in this particular slide, what we are talking of is networking with people you are working, networking with your clients, because networking with your customers. So you have to be cordial, you have to listen, you have to understand them. So you have to make a effective networking, where you deal with, where you are having people who come with certain kind of background, where you where the two people who they are talking, that should make a lot of sense. When you're talking to each other, that should make a lot of sense basis what you are looking at. In an organization perspective, I'm saying, from an organization perspective, you should, your network should be such that you should learn from your network, right? You should every day you should learn some or other thing from your network, be it a client, be it be it your internal employees, be it your managers. So you should have a proper and a strong networking with them. Take feedbacks positively, be it your schooling or be it your corporate world, or you are into business, or wherever you are. Let me tell you, you have to take a feedbacks very positively, because a lot of people get offended, when they are told that you are not doing this, or this is not the right way to do it. They feel very very offended. They start they start talking about, no, this is what has happened, that is what has happened. But let me tell you, if you take a feedback positively, it is really beneficial for you. It is a beneficial thing for you, because once you have taken a feedback, you have understood what the other person is trying to tell you, you will improve yourself. But if you will not take a feedbacks in a positive manner, you will not able to improve yourself, because you will feel that, I am right. And that's not the case every time, right? So you have to take feedbacks very positively. In any sphere of any, and wherever you are. So these are the few pointers which I'm giving you, that employers expect all the above, and will assess you on this when you will go for an interviews. Nowadays it is not as very simple interviews which they do. There are a lot of different kind of interviews which are happening, and they gauge you on all these aspects, what kind of work you have done, what kind of, do you have these skill sets in you, what are they looking at. And like I said, because the organizations are growing, they are working like a startup. They might be in the industry for 20 years now, but they want to move and they want to become a startup, because that's the kind of energy they are looking at. That's the kind of outlook they are looking at, to get into the market and to explore the market, more than what they were doing from last 20 years. So that's where they are growing. And they expect people to, the people, they expect certain skill sets from the people whom they are hiring, right? Now let's come to the point what you should do. Now, as a students, obviously we do not expect you to, overnight learn all these skill sets and all. But yes, you have to start with. It's your, you're in class 12 now. If you start doing it, slowly, I'm sure next 3 4 years with experience, you will also learn all these aspects. And obviously, I'm talking today about it. Maybe after 2 years, there's much more to learn for you. So you have to start this now, so that you are able to, move out after 12th also, in your graduation, or in your post graduation, when you are moving out. All these skill sets are required there also. Not only organization, but in the outside world, you need such kind of skill sets. So what you should do, develop skills which are required in the outside world, corporate and own business. So we are not only talking about the organizations now, right? It is not only that you are going to work in the organization, that's why you need these skills. But let me tell you, like I said, you move out of the 12th class, you go to the colleges, institutes and all, you need to develop those skill sets. You need to develop those skills. You get into your own business, you need those skill sets. You need to take up feedback. You have to have open-mindedness, flexibility, adaptability. You have to do it in your business. And I'm saying, if you are at home also, you know not working anywhere, not having your own business, if you're at home also, then also you need all these skill sets. That that becomes a part of your personality, right? And that attracts people now. So one is, develop skills which are required in the outside world, corporate and own business. Be smart enough to understand people, though it will come with the experience. I am not saying, today you will be able to gauge people. What do they mean? What exactly they want to say? But start observing them. And how will you observe them? When you will listen to them. And listen to them is cannot be a selective listening, right? That what you want to listen, you will listen to that. No. What are they saying? Listen to that. What let that, let that particular thing comes into your mind. So listening is very important. And once you will listen, slowly and slowly you will start understanding people. You will start understanding what that person actually meant. So because there are a lot of things when people say is different and what they meant is literally different. So you have to start understanding people, and that too you do within your friend circles also, within the friend circle also. So start listening to people. Now, when we say strong communication skills, obviously, we are talking of our written and verbal English and all. But let me tell you, it is it is not about written and verbal English. We are talking about communication, but you have to be very fluent. One, that is what is expected in outside world. Secondly, use the right words, use the right tone. That is very important. Use the right body language when we are talking about. These are the things which are required in outside world. I would not say any I'm not talking about any organization now. Talking in general what you need to do when you move out of the school. Schooling is still a place where you are got a very you get a very comfortable zone also. But then after school there is no comfortable zone. So it's you are moving outside world. You need to have a good communication. Focus on your words, what you are saying. Focus on your tone, the tone you are using, and focus on your body language, because that makes all the difference. What you want to say, you might not able to communicate to that person because the tone was not right. You might have said something very softly, but the understanding has not gone there. So you have to use the right words, right tone, and right body language. That makes your communication more effective then. Be a good listener. Like I said, don't be a selective listener. Be a good listener. Someone who who wants to really understand what the other person is saying, rather than just listening for the sake of listening, right? Then do effective networking. Like I said, start meeting people, start talking to them, meet different kind of people. Don't just mingle up with people just like you. There's I read somewhere that there was a whenever there is a science student should always network with the commerce and art students as well. Why? Because you understand the science aspect, but you don't understand the commerce behind it or the arts behind it, because every subject is linked somewhere, right? So if your knowledge becomes limited if you network with people like you only. Your knowledge becomes limited then. So start talking to the friends who are into commerce stream or art stream. Go out, meet people. You have your friends, parents, they are professionals. Talk to them. You will come to know a lot of things. Do some effective networking apart from whatever networking you do as a kids. Obviously we do a lot of other kind of networking also on social media and all that. You keep on doing, that's a good job, good work to do. But do this also simultaneously, because that will increase your knowledge base. Then we are saying work and learn at every stage. Don't wait for your graduation or post graduation internships. Eventually, this will help you to upgrade yourself. Start working. Take up small projects. Don't wait. Okay, fine. I'll do my BBA. End of the year, end of the course. They will ask me to do 1 month or 2 months or 6 months internship. I'll do that. No, don't take it as an internship, but pick up small work and start learning those things. Not necessarily that it has to be from your field only. It can be from any other field as well. So when I said build up your digital skills, pick up some project, start doing a digital work. You will learn out of that, right? You will learn those skill sets apart from what you are doing, and that will help, because we are talking of people who are multi-skilled and cross-functional skills, people who have those skills. So start doing it and just don't work for money, right? Work for little knowledge and passion. What you take up a project, do some internships, keep on doing all those things, right? Okay. Instead of focusing only on numbers, grades, focus on building your knowledge. Number and money will follow. See, this is an old saying, if you follow passion, money will follow you, right? Because you love your work and you love the work you are doing. If you love your work, you will excel in that, and no one can stop you to right? So over here, only and only building the knowledge. Numbers does matter, that you have to focus on, but bring the numbers by getting a knowledge. Or not only numbers will not help you, right? If you don't have knowledge, only numbers will not help you at all in the outside world. So build up your knowledge basis on your do hard work for to get those numbers and the grades. Be passionate about your work. It is simply, you have to be passionate whatever you are doing, whatever subjects you take, you move out, you have to be passionate about your work, about the dealings you do, about the networking you do. And that should show that that comes with experience as well, not that overnight you are going to learn something, but start doing all these things, that will eventually help you to move outside in outside world as a confident person. So that's all from my end. Any
Okay.
questions, anyone having any queries, you can ask me.
Yes, students. Okay, Jia, you were telling yes. Ask the question.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Jia Singhal, and I have commerce with psychology. So, ma'am, my question is, for the companies over the years have evolved their policies with respect to the gender equality or the fair compensation for women. Is there any changes in their policy?
See, every organization has, has done some changes. But let me tell you, there's a lot of diversity hiring which is happening. Do you understand diversity hiring, Gia? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, ma'am. Like
Yeah.
different types of people they are hiring for different
So, see,
purposes.
I'll tell you, there can be a roles at times. There was a time when people used to hire males for one specific role, but nowadays the situation is not that. Diversity hiring, they want females. They want female to be hired, and they have a percentage fixed up in any organization that you need to have these many females in your organization. And like I said, Gia, when you're talking about salaries of females and the job opportunities, there is ample of job opportunities. Their salary is not a constraint, whether you are a male or you are a female. You should know your work. Organizations have grown out of it now. There might be, I'm not saying 100%, but there might be 10% organizations still into this system. But when we are saying that, organizations are moving to a global processes, strategies and policies, that is what they are currently doing. They hire, even in the government organization, if you see, they have a fix that they need to hire disabled people, they have to hire female employees. And that comes in a corporate level also. We get the roles wherein there are the plants in the remote areas of south. There they need female candidates as into an accounting or finance role. Now in plants, there was a time when they never used to hire females. That were only male oriented work which was happening, because plants are completely secluded in a remote areas. But they are hiring. So I think companies and organizations are moving and growing, and they are moving into a different perspective now. And that's where the changes are coming. And salary is not a constant. Again, I said, if you know your work, no one can stop you. And you have a lot of examples in the industry where female CEOs or CFOs and all you will see.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one more question.
So
As organization psychologist is a good course, like it's a course of psychology. So the is the organizations are hiring these psychologists or not? Like the demand of them are in India, especially, is there or not?
yes, they are hiring. They are hiring people coming from this particular background, psychology, because you will see a lot of, because nowadays, people are having a very different approach. If you will see, a lot of people get clinical psychology, if you have heard of. I'm not very sure if you know about this particular roles which are there. Organizations are hiring now clinical psychologies and all that. These people really help the managers, really help the employees to overcome their weaknesses, or where they feel challenge in dealing with certain situations. They really help them to come up and work according to what exactly they should do, how they should manage all these how they should manage the situations within the organization, how they have to resolve the conflicts. So that's where the psychologist or clinical psychology people pitch in and they work. So organization do hire. There are rules.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for answering my questions.
Students,
Thanks.
can you please switch on your videos so that the session can be more interactive? And Aditya, yes, beta, you have raised your hand. You can ask the question. All of you, beta, please switch on your videos.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted
Good
to ask
afternoon.
that, like, we have two cases. One is having more experience, but he have a bit less knowledge, and for the other one, like his body, he is very intelligent and very smart, but he lacks somewhere in his body language and other aspects. So, and they are on the same platform. So the company will prefer candidate A or B. Which one they will like to
See,
prefer?
there is no clear-cut kind of criteria in such cases, right? Um, there are a lot of interview assessments which happen basis, the kind of requirement an organization is having. They create the interview processes such that if their requirement is such that they are not looking, they say, okay, fine, my functional requirement might be 50%, but 50% is something like body language communication that I am looking at, or 40% is functional. Say for example, let's take it a sales role. Now if someone is having a knowledge of the market but the right body language is not there, uh, right body language is there or not there, that depends upon the kind of product they are selling. Are they confident to go to the market to sell the product or not? That is the key for a salespeople, because the product training anyways the organization will give you. End of the day you will get a training on the product, but are you confident enough to go out and sell this product to the customer, or the dealers, or the distributors, or the corporates? Will you be able to do that? If you are not able to do that, you are not lying in that parameter, you are not able to excel in that parameter, then you are gone. Because soft skills, end of the day, soft skills plays a vital role nowadays. You learn a lot of things when you enter into the organization, but if you don't have those basic soft skills, it's very difficult to sustain in the organization. You might be hired in that organization, but you won't able to sustain yourself because you don't carry those soft skills with you. So it depends from organization to organization, what is their criteria, what do they require. So there is no clear cut answer that this person will be hired or that person will be hired. It depends from the organization to organization. It differs from there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, yes, next, Sugandh, you have raised your hand.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Good
beta.
afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am,
Good
I
afternoon.
want to ask that, ma'am, after liberalization and opening of Indian economy, ma'am, may you please share your experience on the growing importance and role of the human resources for different countries in the world?
I didn't get you. What exactly you want to know?
Ma'am, I want to know that, may you please share your experience on the growing importance and role of human resource for the different countries in the world?
The human resource function, if you will see, it has always been an important function for any organization, because that's where you manage the talent. That's the function which manages the complete talent, starting from hiring, acquisition of a talent, to the performances, to the trainings, to the leadership developments. So human resource in any organization, in any country, or any, any country, is similar. It has grown, outgrown now. Why? Because it's not only a need of recruitments we are talking about nowadays. If you, I'll tell you, in not in India but outside world, they everyone is facing a challenge of hiring the right people. So it is not only a plain recruitment now. It is more of a talent enhancement and acquisition which you do. If you do acquisition, you really need to have to enhance your manpower, because you are not able to get a right skill people. Right skill sets are not there. Right attitude is not there. People are not coming with the right attitude. So the HR function has grown. HR function has grown big time, starting from, there was a time there was only a HR used to play a admin role, or maybe a recruitment role. They were doing a basic job of salaries, or or recruitments and all. But now it is not just recruitment. Is not recruitment. Performance management is not a simply, you do a grading and you hire, you promote a person. It's not that. You will see a lot of terminologies coming in. There's a performance enhancement plans which happens after every 6 months with the people who are not performing. Then there are a lot of leadership development programs. There's a lot of psychometric testings which are happening. So HR has grown as a function, has grown big time, be it India or be it outside world, because you really need to manage people. You have to manage those managers also. You have to manage the CEO or CFO also. There has to be a right attitude to run the organization. So ultimately, that's where the HR function has grown big time now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for answering my question.
Okay, next, Kashish, you have raised your hand, beta. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, what is the role of bespoke consulting in helping companies in talent acquisition, talent retention, and talent management?
Okay, see, Bespoke, we work with various clients. We are working with clients majorly into right now into the FMCG segment, and we do the talent acquisition for them. Talent acquisition is, I would say, 50-60% of the work which we do for them. We hire right talent for them. Talent management, when it comes to, we do talent management is exactly, when we present a lot of leadership, or trainings to them. We are managing the training part, training and leadership development part for them. We are also doing a little bit on the front of employee engagements. We do a little of digital work in association with other organizations. We do it for them. So that's what Bespoke is currently doing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, next, Ria.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, being progressive is good, ma'am, but there is a time when we don't want to learn more. So, ma'am, how can we motivate ourselves?
Sorry, being possessive, you said?
Ma'am, being progressive.
Possessive. Okay, okay. So come again with your question.
Ma'am, being progressive is good, ma'am, but there is a time when we don't want to learn more in life. So, ma'am, how can we motivate ourselves?
So when is that time when you don't want to learn more? See, mm, I don't see any particular age, where you limit yourself for learning. But you say that, okay, fine, you do not want to learn, but you have to find out the ways. You have to understand why that learning has finished. Why you don't want to learn further. Because I'm telling you, these skill sets which I was talking about and all that is not only, uh, like I said, not only for the corporates, not only for anything. You are sitting at home, be it a simple housemaker. That person really need to have those skill sets. You are learning each and every day. If you will go back and say, okay, fine, I don't want to learn anything, आप खुद देखोगे कि आप खुद ही लर्न कर रहे हो. आप खुद जाके रोज एक दिन रोज शाम को sit and write down one thing in your diary where what you have learned today. You will yourself see, and see, you have to motivate yourself. You have to start, like I said, build up the right network. When you talk to people, you feel motivated. When you will come to know what they are doing, you will feel motivated about it. No one from outside can come and say, okay, fine, Ria, get up and let's do this. No one is going to do that, right? But you have to see people around you who are really doing it. You have to see, you have to pick up the examples from the different areas, not only from I'm saying HR or the corporate world. Pick up the examples from your army, pick up your examples from sports, from the different arts, dance, music, everything, everywhere. Pick up people, you will see the examples and you will feel motivated. Wow, these people are doing wonders. We don't even know that this is happening in this world. And that's where when you explore on internet, explore right things, right? Explore, pick up the right things from there. Pick up the stuff which will motivate you. You yourself will feel motivated when you will see people doing so much in this world, and it is not only specific to one or two fields. It is different fields wherever you feel interested. I'm not saying you go and you have to excel in one particular role, or maybe you can do, parents are saying, okay, do engineering. I also feel I should do engineering, but ultimately you lost your interest. Why you lost your interest? Because there was no passion. There was no passion for that work ever. But where you are passionate, you have to you have to learn those skills, learn, unlearn, relearn, do that, and you will feel motivated. I'm telling you, pick up new thing to do. Don't just do one thing. If you will do one thing, at one point you will feel, acha mujhe to aa gaya, now I am done, I have learned a lot, why should I learn more? This is what is happening and this is the best thing happening, I don't want to learn. If that is done, pick up something new, do something new. There's no age, or there is no limitations that you cannot do this or you cannot do that. Start doing new things. You will feel motivated. Start reading about people who are there. A lot of books, in market. You will read about people who have excelled in their different fields. So start reading, start exploring the internet in a right manner, right? And you will feel motivated. I'm telling you, no one from outside will come and say, come on, get up, let's do this. No one will do that. No one has that much of time apart from your parents. I think no one will put that much of effort of telling you that please get up and start doing. Even your parents will just tell you this much, but what you have to do, you have to explore that. Start doing something new. Forget what you have done. Start doing something new.
Okay,
You will
thank
feel yourself, you will feel motivated.
Yes. Okay, next, Manat, do you want to ask, beta?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like you said, we should take all the feedbacks positively. But, ma'am, there is also a rule that giving feedback positively. Ma'am, there is an attitude in employers that they has to be strict with their employees. So, ma'am, how can we take all the feedbacks positively when the employer is not saying the right in the right way?
Okay. See, when I said take the feedbacks positively, what you are saying that, this is the attitude in an organization that, you have to tell a hard way, you have to tell someone that, this is what is happening. No, it is not the case. Like I said, why we are talking of career landscape, we are talking of the attitude and the mindsets which are changing in the organization. Now, that's not the scenario. That's used to happen few years back, but now even the managers, they are changing themselves. Even the organization, they are changing themselves, so that attitude will not take that particular person above any other level, right? So taking a feedback is for you, that is for as an individual. We have to be very positive in taking a feedback. We might agree, we might not agree, but take those points where you agree. Take those points and develop yourself. See, manager can say, okay, fine, 20 things, this is you have to improve, 1 2 3 4 10 20 things they have written. Okay, fine, you have to improve yourself on these 20 parameters. You might not agree with those 10 parameters, right? But I'm sure the another 10 parameters would definitely are something which you should take it positively, right? So you in organizations, there again I said, there's a difference of opinion. When we are sitting there, we should have a social skills. There we should know how to manage our boss also. These are also the social skills. You should know how to you manage your manager, how to manage your leaders. People say that you left the organization because your manager said this, but there are still people who are working in that team only and managing the manager also. So there are there again you have both kind of people. Now those people know how to manage the boss, how to manage, they have learned those social skills. And one person is saying, I am giving up, I cannot do this because this manager is rude. So I am saying it is not that managers are always good or something, but what I meant is take those 10 feedbacks at least positively, which you think, yes, he's right. These 10 I need, these 10 I don't need, I already have. If you think I already have, then you assess yourself that why he said that you don't have, right? Think from his perspective also. And no organization nowadays do it like a teaching stuff, कि अच्छा ठीक है आपको तो यही करना है. No organization, no managers are doing. Those who are doing, they are not able to sustain themselves in the organization. They themselves are moving out, or the organization will ask them to move out eventually. So that environment and that dynamics has changed now. That's what we are talking about. You have to develop the skill sets. It's not only for the employees, but the managers as well. If they will keep that attitude, they will not able to sustain in the organization. So the complete scenario and the environment has changed. Culturally, organizations have changed now. And by the time, I'm sure you guys will get into that kind of mode where you will be working. It's a complete different shift. It's a complete different corporate world.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, next, Khushbu.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask that, ma'am, sometimes there is a relation between like interest of a person and the capability of a person. So, what should we do? I mean, which should we prefer, the interest area or the capability?
Okay. So, Khushbu, it is both, right? It has to go hand in hand simultaneously. If you have interest in something, you will build up those skills. You will build up the capabilities of doing that, right? If you think today that, I want to get in, I love singing, right? So tomorrow you will go and start learning learn the skills, learn the singing part, right? You will go and have some professional classes to do that. And I'm sure you will build up that because you have an interest in that. You might say, I have a capability, but I don't have interest. But tell me, but this particular case where you say I am capable of doing, but I don't have interest, this is not a long term thing. This will not happen long term because you don't have interest. You will lose it after maybe, doing it for 1 year or so. You will say, okay, fine, I don't want to do because you don't have interest. This will not go long term. But if you have interest, you can build up the capability, you can build up the capabilities, you can build up the competencies to do that work. So follow your passion, follow your interest. That will take you long term. This will give you a long term results, because if you
Ma'am,
don't
and
have interest,
even if the other thing which I am capable of is much more greater than the interest area, then also I should pursue my interest area.
tell me one thing, if you are capable but you don't have any interest, how long you will carry on with that? How long you can stretch that?
Yes,
You will
ma'am.
not able to stretch that. After some point, like another person asked me that if I lose interest in learning, I don't want to learn more, then what will happen? You will stop learning. You will do it for 1 or 2 years, but then you don't have interest. You'll start learning. You will stop building your competencies to move ahead in that also because you don't have any interest in that. Till the time you don't have interest in the work you do, you won't able to grow. You won't able to excel in that. You can build up the capabilities to do the work which you are having an interest in. You do some work, आप एक चीज करना शुरू कर देते हो just because करनी है. नो, क्योंकि मेरे को आता है ठीक है, लेकिन वो कब तक आप उस चीज को खींच सकते हो कि मुझे आता है, मुझे आता है, मुझे आता है, मेरा इंटरेस्ट नहीं है तो मैं और उसके अंदर तो और मैं नई चीज उसके अंदर मैं सीखूंगी नहीं, राइट? यू से अच्छा आई लाइक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट, आई डू दैट डेवलपमेंट, बट यू लर्न वन टेक्नोलॉजी, टू टेक्नोलॉजी, यू आर वेरी गुड, बट मार्केट में 4 नई टेक्नोलॉजीज आई हैं, यू से यार ठीक है, मतलब मेरा इंटरेस्ट तो नहीं है, मैं इसी में ही कर लेती हूँ, वो नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग. They don't need those skill sets now. They don't need those technology work now. This, because you are not interested, you will not upgrade yourself. You will not learn new things in that particular. But if you are interested, you will do 10 other things to make that work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks, Khushbu.
Thank you very much, ma'am. On behalf of DLDAV Shalimar Bagh, I would like to thank you for motivating and guiding our students and enlightening us with your knowledge. We are
Thank you, ma'am.
indebted to you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
We are indebted to you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time and gracing the occasion today. I would also like
Thank
to thank I would also like to extend my gratitude to our principal ma'am, Mrs. Reena Rajpal, for organizing such events. And I would also like to thank the students for joining us today. Students, can you please switch on your videos once so that we can have a photograph and a picture of it? And secondly, the recording of this session will also be available on school's YouTube channel. Yes, Peter.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. You know, all the students, and from my side, you know, all the best. Do well. Do excel in your fields which you have taken, but do learn, please learn other skill sets also, other get into other areas as well. Don't stick only to the subjects which you have taken, because that's what the outside world expect you to do, right? So all the best for your exams as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.